Imagine knowing that every bite you take could be your last. Every morning, you wake knowing your life exists solely to protect another's. This is the story of what it truly meant to taste death, so the Sultan could taste life. Welcome to another journey into history's shadows, where tonight we'll explore one of the most dangerous yet forgotten roles in the Ottoman Empire. Close your eyes, settle back, and let me take you to the marble halls of Topkapi Palace, where fear and luxury dance together every single meal. The sun hasn't yet touched the golden horn when Mehmet awakens. Not to the call of the muezzin, but to something far more immediate, the knowledge that today, like every day for the past 7 years, he will taste death before it reaches the Sultan's lips. Mehmet ibn Yusuf wasn't born to this life. He came from a village near Bursa, the son of a baker who shaped dough with the same careful hands that Mehmet now uses to lift silver spoons. But fate, as it often does in the Ottoman court, had other plans. 7 years ago, young Ahmet had volunteered during the Sultan's visit to his village. The royal food taster had fallen ill, and someone needed to ensure the Sultan's safety. That single act of courage had sealed his destiny. Ahmet ibn Osman died that day, and Mehmet ibn Yusuf was born, reborn into a life where every meal was a dance with death. The tasting chamber is a masterpiece of Ottoman design and paranoid functionality. Marble floors and geometric patterns cool the room naturally, while high windows provide clear lighting for detecting any suspicious changes in food color or consistency. The walls are lined with shelves containing potential antidotes, activated charcoal, bezoar stones, various herbs known for their purging properties. At the center stands Mehmet's workstation, a table of pure white marble, chosen specifically because any discoloration would immediately reveal the presence of certain toxins. Upon this table, silver utensils wait in precise arrangement, spoons of different sizes, knives for cutting samples, and small cups for liquids. The silver isn't decorative luxury but practical necessity. For centuries, it has been believed that silver darkens in the presence of sulfur-based poisons. While Mehmet has learned this belief is only partially accurate, it provides a small measure of comfort in his dangerous profession. The morning assembly begins with Hassan Aga, the head cook, whose reputation for culinary excellence is matched only by his fanatical attention to security. Every ingredient has been traced to its source, every servant investigated by palace intelligence. "Peace be upon you, Mehmet Effendi," Hassan Aga murmurs, using the respectful title that acknowledges Mehmet's unique position. Despite being technically a servant, his role grants him status that transcends normal social boundaries. Ibrahim Effendi, the palace physician, arrives with the morning's menu written in elegant calligraphy. Today's breakfast: rosewater sherbet from the palace distillery, honey cakes made with flour from the Sultan's private mills, cheese from palace goats, and tea from leaves that traveled under armed guard from distant mountains. The tasting follows protocols refined through centuries of experience. First rule: never taste on an empty stomach. Mehmet begins by consuming bread and olive oil from yesterday's confirmed safe supplies. Second rule: taste in order of complexity, from simple to elaborate. Third rule: never taste alone. Ibrahim Effendi observes every session, trained to detect the earliest signs of poisoning. The rosewater sherbet comes first. Mehmet lifts the crystal cup, noting its clarity and natural pink tint. He inhales deeply, allowing the floral scent to fill his nostrils. Rose water is particularly vulnerable to adulteration, as its strong fragrance can mask other odors. The first sip is small, held on the tongue while he analyzes every nuance. The sweetness should be pure, the rose essence delicate, with no bitter aftertaste that might indicate contamination. 30 seconds pass. His throat remains clear, his vision steady. He takes a larger sip, swallowing while Ibrahim Effendi counts seconds on a water clock. The honey cakes follow the same ritual. Mehmet reports what he tastes: honey from the palace hives, with notes of linden and acacia, proper sweetness, hints of almond and rosewater, texture correct, moist but firm, indicating fresh flour. He pauses, taking another bite. Perhaps a slight metallic undertone, but within normal bounds for honey stored in copper vessels. Ibrahim Effendi nods, making notes. That metallic taste is actually positive. Its absence might indicate the honey had been deliberately refined to disguise other substances. As Mehmet performs his routine, he reflects on the history surrounding him. The position of imperial food taster stretches back centuries, born from necessity when poison was the weapon of choice for eliminating rulers. During Sultan Mehmet II's reign, his food taster Davoud had detected arsenic in stuffed quail prepared by trusted palace cooks. The investigation revealed a conspiracy reaching the highest levels of administration, ultimately leading to a vizier's execution for communicating with Venetian agents. But history also provides cautionary tales. During Sultan Ibrahim's reign, a food taster named Yusuf had grown complacent. Rushing through a session to attend his daughter's wedding, he failed to detect slow-acting poison from oleander flowers. The Sultan survived due to his small appetite, but Yusuf's execution served as a stark reminder of absolute responsibility. These stories aren't distant history to Mehmet. They're daily reminders of what happens when vigilance fails, when the sacred trust between taster and sultan breaks. Ibrahim Effendi represents centuries of accumulated knowledge about poison detection. "Tell me what you taste," he instructs as Mehmet samples the cheese. This isn't idle conversation, but crucial detection protocol. The physician understands which poisons act quickly versus those with delayed effects, which can be detected by smell or appearance, and which require sophisticated testing. He knows that certain mushroom toxins are nearly tasteless, while others produce distinctive bitter flavors. He recognizes symptoms of arsenic poisoning, convulsions from strychnine, paralysis from plant alkaloids. More importantly, he knows antidotes. The medicine chest contains activated charcoal that absorbs organic toxins, herbal preparations that induce vomiting, compounds that slow toxin absorption. While some remedies are based more on superstition than science, peacock bezoars, powdered unicorn horn, snake stones, others are genuinely effective. Living with constant threat of death creates a unique psychological state. Mehmet has developed coping mechanisms that allow him to function despite ever-present mortality. The first mechanism is radical acceptance of fate. Early in his service, anxiety nearly paralyzed him. Every stomach ache became potential poisoning. Every unusual taste a possible death sentence. An older palace servant taught him the philosophy that saved his sanity. You are already dead. Accept that death has claimed you, and each day becomes a gift rather than a fear. This fatalistic outlook proved liberating. By surrendering attachment to life, Mehmet found he could perform duties with clarity and courage. Paralyzing fear was replaced by calm professionalism. The second mechanism is hypervigilance balanced with compartmentalization. During tastings, his awareness reaches supernatural intensity. Between meals, he practices deliberate relaxation in his small garden, reading poetry, practicing calligraphy, repetitive motions serving as meditation. No food taster works alone. Mehmet's survival depends on relationships throughout the palace. His closest ally is Fatma Hanim, head of female servants overseeing kitchen supply chains. Under her supervision, trusted servants travel to farms and markets, establishing supplier relationships and ensuring reliable food sources. "The morning's honey comes from our own hives," she reports during their consultation. "Collected yesterday evening, processed overnight under guard. The flour was milled 2 days ago from palace wheat, stored in sealed containers. The almonds were shelled this morning by servants with us over 10 years. Another crucial ally is Hachi Effendi, the palace intelligence chief. His informant network monitors threats from within and without: disgruntled servants, ambitious officials, foreign agents, political conspirators. When Mehmet reports suspicious circumstances, observations pass immediately to intelligence for investigation. The midday meal represents the day's greatest challenge. Unlike simple breakfast, lunch typically includes 8 to 12 separate dishes, multiplying opportunities for concealed poisons while making detection more difficult. Today's menu reflects diplomatic requirements. A Persian delegation is visiting, and dishes honor their presence while demonstrating Ottoman superiority. The centerpiece is roasted lamb stuffed with rice, nuts, and dried fruits according to Suleiman the Magnificent's recipe. Mehmet approaches this with particular caution. Complex preparations offer numerous tampering opportunities, and foreign visitors mean foreign servants, gifts, and motivations that might include assassination. Tasting the crispy skin first, where applied poisons would concentrate, he notes normal color and familiar aroma. But proceeding to the stuffing, a subtle wrongness makes him pause. Not bitter enough for obvious poison, but an unfamiliar undertone in a dish he's tasted dozens of times. "Stop," Ibrahim Effendi commands, noticing hesitation. "Describe what you taste." Basic flavors are correct, but something in the almonds, perhaps. A slight sharpness that doesn't belong. The dish is immediately removed for detailed analysis, feeding portions to mice and observing reactions over hours. If mice show illness, the entire dish is discarded and full investigation launched. Evening brings heightened tension with the Persian delegation's formal dinner. Diplomatic meals carry additional security concerns, providing opportunities for foreign assassination while creating potential international incidents. The Persians have brought food gifts, exotic spices, preserved fruits, ceremonial sweets prepared according to Safavid traditions. These present Mehmet's greatest challenge: evaluating foods prepared outside controlled Ottoman environments. Each Persian delicacy undergoes extensive examination. The saffron could easily conceal deadly alkaloids. Rose petal preserves might contain extracts of poisonous flowers. The ceremonial halva's rich mixture provides numerous concealment opportunities. Mehmet takes minimal quantities, waiting extended periods between tastings. The saffron produces expected warm, honey-like flavor with metallic undertones. Rose preserves are intensely floral without contamination signs. But the halva troubles him. Correct flavor profile, yet something artificial in the aftertaste. Extended testing delays the dinner by hours, creating tension between security requirements and political necessity. Ultimately, evidence suggests safety despite Mehmet's unease, and the dinner proceeds. Duties don't end with evening meals. Late-night snacks, ceremonial beverages, and special dietary requirements can arise at any hour. Tonight brings particular challenge. Sultan Murad's favorite midnight refreshment: sherbet flavored with Mount Olympus snow and rare flower essences. The snow arrives in lead-lined containers, prized for symbolic value and supposed medicinal properties. But snow presents unique security challenges. Its source cannot be completely controlled, and its journey creates contamination opportunities. Flower essences pose additional concerns. So concentrated that drops flavor entire servings, small amounts of poisonous extracts could easily hide within legitimate aromatics. Mehmet's evaluation follows careful protocols, but late hour and artificial lighting create additional detection challenges. 7 years of constant vigilance have taken their toll. Stress has accelerated Mehmet's aging, giving him the appearance of someone much older. Cumulative exposure to various toxins has begun affecting his health. Digestive problems, slight hand tremors that might indicate nerve damage. Yet physical tolls pale beside psychological burden. Mehmet has become isolated from normal relationships, unable to share the constant fear dominating his existence. His family in Bursa receives support and knows he serves in the palace, but they understand nothing of his actual duties. The isolation extends to palace relationships as well. While treated with respect, other servants maintain careful distance. Some see him as bad luck, others with suspicion about what secrets he might learn through privileged access to the Sultan's private arrangements. Mehmet's faith has sustained him through 7 years of danger while being tested in ways few believers experience. Islamic theology teaches that every death moment is predetermined by Allah, providing comfort. If death is decided, worry cannot change it. But this exists in tension with practical reality. If death is predetermined, why taste the Sultan's food? If Allah decides the Sultan's fate, what role does human precaution play? Mehmet resolves this through philosophy combining fatalistic acceptance with active responsibility. He believes Allah works through human agents, and his role serves Allah's will even as ultimate outcome remains in divine hands. Each meal becomes worship, each tasting a prayer. Despite isolation and danger, Mehmet finds meaning in the service bonds connecting him to the Sultan and broader empire. His sacrifice protects not just one man, but stability of a realm encompassing millions whose lives depend on effective governance. The Sultan remains distant. They've never spoken directly, and Mehmet doubts the Sultan knows his name. Yet their lives are intimately connected through daily shared meals and risk. Occasionally, indirect acknowledgement comes: bonus payments to his family, holiday gifts, or simply continued employment representing recognition from imperial hierarchy. More meaningful are relationships with fellow servants and knowledge that his work enables others to perform duties without fear. The palace runs smoothly partly because everyone knows the Sultan's food supply is secure. In his small garden, Mehmet has created a living memorial to his service years. Each plant represents significant events, lessons learned, threats detected. The garden serves as peaceful contemplation space and private record of professional life. A rosebush marks his first-day anniversary, annual blooms reminding him how far he's traveled since that frightened young volunteer. Herbs connect him to work's practical aspects while providing ingredients for simple personal meals. The garden includes plants involved in poison attempts or security incidents. A carefully contained oleander reminds him of dangers from beautiful flowers. Almond trees represent both legitimate ingredients and potential cyanide sources. Working in the garden provides therapy counteracting psychological stress. Simple acts of watering, pruning, harvesting create connection to natural cycles existing independently of palace politics and assassination threats. As autumn arrives in Mehmet's 8th year, he finds deeper contemplation about his service's nature and place in imperial life's broader tapestry. Shorter days and reduced diplomatic activity create temporary respite from heightened security concerns. The silence that became his trademark extends beyond professional requirements to encompass service philosophy valuing discretion above recognition. His greatest successes are assassination attempts that never occur, crises that never develop, threats that dissolve before materializing. Understanding these paradoxes has given Mehmet sophisticated views of political power and limitations. The Sultan's authority, while vast, operates within constraints imposed by human nature, political necessity, and governing requirements. Even absolute power requires others' cooperation and sacrifice to remain secure. 8 years of experience have refined Mehmet's techniques beyond any formal training. He's developed supernatural sensitivity to subtle variations indicating foreign substances. His palate distinguishes salt types by taste, recognizes regional food profiles, detects adulterants in tiny quantities. This expertise extends beyond poison detection to sophisticated food chemistry and preservation understanding. He can distinguish between natural degradation and deliberate contamination, preventing false alarms while maintaining security. Perhaps most importantly, he's cultivated intuitive danger sense operating below conscious thought. Sometimes he experiences unease about dishes without identifying specific problems. Experience has taught him to trust these instincts, even when objective evidence suggests safety. On a crisp autumn morning, as Mehmet performs his daily breakfast tasting routine, he experiences perfect clarity about his life and service. The familiar silver spoon weight, careful flavor analysis, controlled breathing while waiting for symptoms, all combine into harmonious whole representing 8 years of dedicated practice. Where once there was fear and uncertainty, now there is calm professionalism. Where once every flavor carried terror of potential death, now each taste represents another successful duty completion. The circle that began with a frightened young man volunteering to taste food has closed with a seasoned professional understanding both the terrible burden and profound honor of his position. The silver spoon that protects sultans reminds us that civilization depends not just on great commanding figures, but on countless individuals serving faithfully in obscurity. In every age, people choose duty over safety, service over self-interest, others' welfare over their own preservation. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, perhaps you'll spare thought for those like Mehmet, who stood in history's shadows, accepting personal risk so others might live securely. Their legacy lives on in every safe meal, every peaceful night, every security moment we too often take for granted. Sleep well, knowing that throughout history, brave souls maintained vigil in darkness, standing guard between order and chaos, safety and danger, life and death. In their quiet courage, we find both humility and inspiration for our own choices about service, sacrifice, and the meaning of a life well lived. The eternal vigil continues,